I don't know. I don't know what actually constitutes as constipation. I don't know if
Rabbit poops.
Okay, what does that mean though?
Like little pellets, really hard to come out.
Okay.
Like lack of you don't have a long schlong coming out. You have like little boop 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 boop.
Play the song, Frank. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's the constipation hour on the Muks next door.
I think I'm gonna veto this.
Sponsored by Lactaid or whatever the fuck like people take. Because that's the thing. I've never experienced anything like that.
Really?
No.
You've never had a hard time pooping.
Like, yes, I've had like more like varying levels of difficulty, but like.
Interesting.
This episode is sponsored by the sun, by the way, because it's hot as fuck right now. I just needed to. It's like I ran outside because I was on my way over here, and I was like, I want to shoot myself right now because like it's so goddamn hot. That's all I can think about right now. But anyways, back to no, I've never had rabbit poops, man.
Interesting.
Have y'all?
Of course.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. For everyone at home, you now know that about 2/3 of us.
I've never heard them described that way, but the minute you described it, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
So does that mean that rabbits are constantly constipated? Like that sucks, man. Like what if like, you know, when we all die and are reincarnated and I come back as a rabbit, I'm just like, fuck! Damn it!
Well,
how okay. How many
use so much fiber?
That's a good point.
Grass the whole
That's
day.
a good point. Maybe like what if you just put a cheeseburger in front of one and it's just like visibly like, why are you doing this to me?
You know I can't digest this.
How long do rabbits live, by the way?
Maybe not that long. I don't think they live that long at
Well,
all.
there's that at least. They're like, I only got to deal with this for like 10 years. It's like,
until whatever gets backed up gets too backed up.
Right.
that's how every rabbit dies. It's just like they strain their whole lives, and then there's just one that just never comes out, and they're like, oh god,
This is the big one.
their rabbit children are like, oh my god, it's happening. That means we have 5 years left.
Every rabbit has died on the John. Hello, everyone. We're the Muck Kids. My name is Frank. Joining with me today is
Francine.
and
I'm Neil, everybody. The one person who has never had this happen to them. But yeah, let's dive right in. What's everybody been up to? It's it always feels like it's been a while, but I feel like this summer is kind of coming to an end. So I've been trying to do like a lot of stuff. So my weeks have been not packed but I've been trying to do more stuff before everyone just like recluses inside for like the next 6 months.
Yeah, turtles up.
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
so ready for that.
Yeah, what's
that turtling phase though.
What's
man.
what's been good? What's everybody up to?
Nothing.
Nothing?
You've been doing everything. I've been doing nothing. I've just been working this whole week.
Hey, that's something though. At the great company of Wells Fargo.
Let's
Redacted.
go.
And by the way, if this episode is sponsored, no, don't. if they
Don't.
get your extra accounts today. No, I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna get into that. I feel like
for Wells Fargo.
I
Please
feel
don't
like
fire
there's
me.
gonna be some random Wells Fargo lawyer that's gonna like listen to that and they're like, oh, I have
these 60 viewers of them. They
Right.
can't know about this. No, it was a little short staffed at work, so I was working working a little more than I like to at work. So
Yeah, and you took fat naps at night.
I oh my god,
at night.
I'd come home and
Was it like an appetizer to sleep? Like
no, that was the whole dinner. My dinner was sleep some nights
Jeez.
this week. I just came home and slept until 10 p.m.
Damn, bro.
And I was like, well, shit. All right, I guess I'll just organize some magic cards for a couple hours and go back to bed. And that was about it. The highlight of my week was that demonic tutor pool on Sunday.
Hey, for anyone that's been, we appreciate everyone who's been viewing, who's been coming back as a viewer. Comment, by the way, if you're a repeat viewer. But we put our first short, the most random short that we could have put, but it was one of me and Frank opening up the new. Oh, sorry, I bumped into the new Commander Masters set, and we pulled a pretty good card from it, and we freaked the fuck out.
It's gone up in price since then. It's like $10 more expensive now.
Has it?
It's like $60.
Damn, that's an investment.
Let's go.
We're making money.
Remember, kids, Magic cards are a very sound investment. Buy more Magic cards.
Francine's not a part of that.
You'll
one.
definitely make your money back. Don't worry. You
You just gotta be lucky.
Yeah, you just have to be incredibly lucky and devote your entire life to selling and buying Magic cards. It's easy. But yeah, speaking of Magic, we played for the first time in like 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Because even so, I think most of it was because we usually play with Michael and Jean and everybody. But everyone was involved in their weddings, so that was
yeah.
It was just all that, and it just came to a head. I feel like they were so relieved to be here yesterday because they were like, finally we can have like a
free weekend.
Yeah, some just like some fun with, because yes, it's like it's exciting and everything, but like it's so much work, dog. Like even after I literally saw Gene list like 10 different things on Facebook Marketplace because all these like decorations and stuff, and I was like, I would just throw that away. I wouldn't, but I would. I would
I'm
want
just
to.
giving it away.
Yeah. There's something to be said about waste. When you're having a party like that,
Yeah.
there's so much waste that goes into
Yeah.
a huge party.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had like 6 or 7 trash bags.
Oh man.
Just at the end of the night.
I feel like I've been sort of trying to be more conscious of that because now I feel slightly guilty every time I order something off of Amazon because it's like it's so much packaging for the smallest of things. Like you have this whole cardboard box, and it's like I, at least in my particular situation, like I can at least give the box to my parents because they use that to ship out packages for their business. So it's like I'm not justifying it. I'm not like I'm helping my parents by doing that. No, but like at least I can do that. But like there's so much like fucking random shit. Like I feel like they just stuff shit inside the box just for stuffing shit. Of course you need to have like stuff to protect the actual thing, but I don't know. It's like it's so much waste once you get something.
That being said, though, it's nice that you are trying to reuse some of that because I know for a fact some people are not doing that. They're just like ordering off.
They just sort of like throw stuff away. Which,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not claiming to be like a saint in that because I still throw a lot of shit away too. But like, yeah, it's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I ordered was a volleyball, by the way, because I've been getting into volleyball.
Oh, nice.
Squeezing out that last little bit of summer.
Man, Francine, have you ever met our friend James? Super tall guy, Alex's cousin.
Did he not go to Kamiak?
He didn't go to
No.
Kamiak.
He's a dirty Linwood High School student.
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen him before though.
Yeah, but
yeah.
he's just like
I don't know.
You know he's like 9 feet tall. Absolutely, like head hits like the ceiling at every door.
I feel like I have seen him, but I don't know if we've been formally introduced.
Okay. Well.
That's
Anyways,
surprising.
he's been into it with his friends for a while, and we played with him like a couple times in the past, and then I was like, hey, this is actually pretty fun. So let's get into it. He tried to. I was like, hey, are there any particular brands of ball that that you guys like or that you think are pretty good for the investment? And he linked it. I was looking at just like I just searched volleyball on Amazon, And I was like, oh, okay, this is not so bad, like 20, $30 here and there. And then he linked me one. He was like, this is the one that everyone used when we played last. And it was like $80.
Oh my lordy.
Oh,
I was like, I'm going to get the $15 one. Thanks.
To be honest, I used to play a lot of volleyball.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. And those cheaper balls, they hurt so bad though.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Like, are the more expensive? Okay.
The more expensive ones are super cushiony. But yeah, no, when you play
this
enough.
is perfect though, Neil. This is perfect. It's like learning to play guitar for the first time. You're gonna want to build up your calluses first, okay? So you're gonna want to your whole forearm is gonna be solid and smooth. Okay, I promise you. That'll help you with the. It'll be perfect for volleyball.
That's the thing though, because like I feel like if I get used to, because I mean this is more so just like I can just hit it in my yard type of thing, because well when I got signed up, James and his friends are obviously more experienced, but they signed me up for, I believe there's different ranks, right? Yeah, so I think C is basically like you've never played before in your life. Like if you were to get, I don't know why you would get ranked if you like if you're just going into it, but if you were to get ranked at that level, you would be a C, right? And then it goes B, double B, A, double A.
Wow.
I don't know if like you did you like when you said you played before, was it like on like a team or was
It was, yeah, and I was on B team for my middle school. So
Okay.
I was okay. I wasn't like the suckiest. I made a team, but I was like not the best either.
Oh, well, I mean, you know, regardless, that's like, yeah, I think that's how it goes. I might be getting the letters wrong for any volleyball fanatics in the audience.
It actually goes C, Q, F, double F, double D, double T, double C.
Oh,
back to A.
My mistake.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if it was like that.
But anyways, he basically signed me up for like, it was just at 24 they have volleyball that anyone can go and play, but basically everyone there was double B level. And you have me, who I was like, I've played a total of like 3 times. Like this is
Gotcha.
I was like, what are you doing right now? Like what am I doing here?
For sure.
And I wouldn't say I myself got destroyed, but it was clear that everyone was sort of like looking at me because like I had no idea what was going on. And it was like it's so demoralizing at points, but it was super fun regardless. So I do want to commit to improving, because it's a, I mean, there's that dopamine, right? When you spike, and like I got a couple spikes and I was like, oh yeah, I just spiked on these people. Like that'd be like if I was like bronze and then I got a double kill on like a plat duo or something like that. Like that's how it felt. I was like, fuck yeah. And like my team was hyping me up and they were like, yeah, let's fucking go. I was like, yeah.
That's what I love about volleyball, is because it's such a team sport and all of your teammates are right there with you in such a close proximity that it was very, very fun to be part of like a girls team and be like, yeah, girl. Or like, OMG, it's okay.
Yeah, us too. Every time I would miss something, they'd be like, oh, gee, it's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, girl, get back up.
But yeah,
We got this.
super fun. I'm definitely trying to go back next week again, just to play, because they got it from like 6 to 10 usually, which is a long ass time. So, but yeah, that's been what I've been going on. You got anything going on, Francie?
Yeah, I do. So Tommy's brother had a golden retriever, and
Nice.
he bought cute little Gabriel when he was just a young pup. And
The dog's name is Gabriel.
yes, it is.
The Archangel.
Yes, very, very cute Doji though. He's a Goldie Mort, and super friendly, super jumpy, super energetic. Only 8 months old, and Tommy's brother unfortunately has a really busy nursing schedule, so he's basically working 3 or 4 days out of the week. And like long hours.
Yeah.
So he can't take care of a cute little puppy.
But we can.
No.
But we can.
No, we live in a house that has a kitty.
A big house that they can share.
Is our priority.
And we'll just give her a higher roof, higher place to live.
You don't know this doji. This doji is not trained really well at all.
Oh, you do not.
Gabriel is so high maintenance right now. He doesn't even answer to his name.
Does he know his name?
Kind of, yeah. Kind of. But he doesn't really pay attention to you.
He prefers Tyrael.
Father.
Hi, Archangel.
So, yeah, that's what's happening. He is staying over at Tommy's parents, and that's where the training ground zero will be. Tommy is going over there, trying to go over there every day to train Gabriel and see where it's at.
Okay.
We think it's not going to be surprising if Gabriel comes over. I don't want necessarily that to happen, but it's a very real possibility that might happen for sure. Because Tommy's parents are old. Older. Gabriel's a large puppy, super high energy. It's hard for Tommy's mom to like walk him around all the time, and so he might come over here.
Oh no, not that. Anything but having a puppy over.
Well, yeah, it might be months out though. So
months.
Yes.
I mean, oh good. Plenty of time to prepare.
He needs to not chase Mimi. That's the thing, okay? Mimi is not a friend to be running around with.
That's what I was gonna say, because like, I mean, it's probably just like a rumor, right? But the whole dogs and cats don't like each other.
I don't think that's true. I think it's understanding, right? So when you're trying to train a cat and a dog to be together, you do need to maintain your dog to not want to interact with the cat so much, like not look at the cat and be like, oh, potential friend. No. It wants to, you want your dog to look at you and be like, oh, this is like my person. I love my person. I want to be around my person, and like kind of ignore the cat.
You want the dog to look at the cat and be like, oh, arm's length roommate.
Exactly. That's exactly. It's like, oh, you're just a thing that's there, or you're just somebody that's over there. That's totally cool. I don't really care about you. That's what we want to do. But right now, Gabriel, he loves everybody. He see like literally me and Tommy walk in the room. He freaks out, but that's like anybody. I bet if you both came over to the house, he would freak out just as high energy. It doesn't matter. He's not locked in. He's not tight yet.
Because how old is your cat?
Mimi is maybe 5 years old, pushing 6.
So that's approaching like middle-aged ish.
Sure. I have no idea.
Yeah, because I feel like she might be a lot more like less energetic, and if you introduce another animal that's like just hyper everything, it's probably not gonna work out well, because you need to really put the time into to like train them to just chill out first before that happens. Yeah.
And then to like get them to meet too, that could take like a whole month or a couple months process.
Yeah. So
it would be very stressful for me and Tommy to like, because we would keep them in separate rooms, make sure they're sniffing each other, and so it's gonna be a lot.
All right. The plan: we'll put the dog downstairs with Zach. Okay, a little baby gate. We just bring little Mimi down. All right. We like put her like nose up against the baby gate. That puppy's gonna walk over to her already because he's curious, and they just sniff each other.
That's
all good.
No, it's not like that though. It needs
Best
to be
friends, just like that.
Like the smells need to be acclimated. How fast they get acclimated, that's not up to us, right? It's up to the cat and the dog.
All right, we'll just spray them with the same cologne.
Ew.
And then they'll have to be acclimated.
No, dude, artificial smells are bad for the kitty, and also bad for the dog too, but I mean, they're not going to complain as much. But the cat will
and also the dog
complain.
too. But okay.
No, no.
Fuck the dog. Man.
No, the cat will complain. The dog might not complain. But it's both equally bad. No, do you know what I'm talking about though?
No, I don't know. I've never sprayed a cat with cologne before. That's fucked up. I wouldn't do that.
No, like cats really have aversion to artificial smells. Like they won't be in a room if there's like a perfume thing going on or like a potpourri thing going on.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, no. It's not good for them either. But like a dog might not complain, but it's also not bad. It's not good for them to be like inhaling that.
But they're just too like aloof.
Yeah.
to realize that
Polite the words. Dude, it's like the cat knows what's good for them and the dog doesn't give a shit.
Polite.
Okay.
Well, damn. Well, I mean that's exciting though, because I mean, I personally have never had any pets that I've had to actually interact with. When I was younger, my sister had a bunch of rabbits in a row, and they I never personally interacted with them because usually they would just stay in their cage and then they would just sort of like run in the yard. But then I think she went through like 4 or 5.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Not enough fiber, huh?
Here's the thing. Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. So from what I remember, she had one big white rabbit. That was her first one. And every so often, my dad would let it out to just run in the yard to get some exercise, right? And then one day he forgot about it, so it ran away.
Oh no.
So then they got 2 more, and I think they got 2 more, and they lived in the same cage, and one of them died, and the other one, this is so sad, but like the other one was so distressed that it just refused to eat. So it died too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Guinea pigs do the same thing.
yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. And then they got 2 more.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
And my dad built like this like cellar thing on the side of the house as a way for them to run around in, have some more space, but you know, in case he forgets about them again, they don't run away. But then I think he forgot, and then the cellar wasn't acclimated properly, so they froze.
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry, Elaine and Dad, to be like putting you on blast like this. Mostly Dad. I'm sorry, Dad, but you fucked up.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, ever since then, we've only had like fish because like if they die, then it's fine.
I was literally about to ask, like before you started talking about your rabbits. What kind of dog? So I'm a dog person. Francie's a cat person. I'm gonna guess Neil's a fish person. just a hunch.
No, I'm definitely like I can't. I mean, well, that's the thing, because like I'm still sort of, and maybe it's just because I'm still like a bachelor in my 20s technically, but like I'm still so kind of nervous whenever I'm holding like my siblings' babies, for example. Like I just don't have that experience with pets, and like I can't even imagine having a kid right now. But it's like I don't know if that's like that's weird to say, because I'm 27, right? I think we're all 27, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, what, like, have y'all ever thought about that prospect before? Like if you would like make a good parent, or like if like the pet thing translates well to
I'm gonna tell you right now, Neil, I think a reason why you have maybe a little aversion is because you're like a younger sibling.
Yeah,
that's true. You're the baby. Me and Francine are the adults.
Okay, you had no responsibilities, so you have there was like no responsibility
I had
in
to
your
take
plate.
care of my little sisters. somebody had to watch them while I watched TV.
While
when
you
the
watch
parents were
TV.
gone,
Maybe
you know?
Oh my lordy. I just remember, I was helping taking care of my siblings for sure. And so whenever I was tasked to take care of like another young kiddo, like it would be so instinctual for me because I already had that experience, right, as an older sister. Would I be a good parent? I hope so, but I don't really know.
It's one of those things because it's like you never really know, right? Because like obviously you hope that everyone is a good parent, and I mean there's certain like instinctual things that you'll have regardless once you have actually have a kid. But yeah, that's a really good point because I'm still like, it's like yes like I can hold my nephew just fine and I can like play with him whatever, and it's but whenever he moves around, right? Whenever I'm holding him, I'm just like, oh my god, don't fall. Like, whereas like, my sister and my brother-in-law, right? When they're holding their child, for example, they'll just like kind of hold it like one hand, whatever, and then they'll be doing like other shit too while they're holding. It's just like such a stark contrast, and I feel like, yeah, I feel like it's different if it were my kid, right? But
sure,
it has to be, right?
Yeah,
I mean
they already have another one, so it's like they have that experience.
There's that too. I was gonna say, yeah. First child, they're always like super overprotective and like. Yeah. Maybe it's similar to you, or like, oh, he's wiggling, squeeze him, so he doesn't wiggle anymore. But like second kid, they're like holding him by like 1 foot, like cooking or something like that. Like, oh, whatever. Yeah. Second child, we already know the deal.
Yeah, and then the third child is just strapped to a tree, just like outside. It's like the older one. You watch them and make sure that they don't hurt themselves or whatever. Yeah. So yeah.
But that's the thing, though, because like I think my parents, they, not that they didn't care, but it was just like they were less aware, maybe, because they were right in the middle of, like, when my brother was born, they were still living in China, and they didn't move to the U.S. until a little bit later, and he came over here when he was 10, so I think it was just like a lot of different things going on. So like they're getting used to the new culture. They were starting their business. So then in a way, regardless, the older sibling is going to be more independent, but like I think my brother was like extra independent because of like those other factors. So when it came to me, I feel like they were maybe more protective in a way. I think they've been super protective of all my siblings, but I feel like when it came to me, it was like there were some like extra steps that they took, right?
Yeah, and I think I can kind of relate to that too, because I was never allowed to go to, or wait, no, that's like the opposite, because I was never allowed to go to sleepovers or anything like that, or like my parents would never be involved in PTO stuff.
Yeah.
But the second that Emily or my brother Matthew went into school, they were like all about that. They were like, oh yeah, you can go to sleepover with all these other kiddos because they're involved with PTO stuff. So they know the parents now.
Oh,
and so they put in a little bit extra care in that sense. And they were like, okay, like we trust these people with our kids now. Because with me, they didn't give a shit. They were like, we don't know these people. We don't care to know these people. Yeah. Like, Francine, you have to stay home and take care of take care of these young ones. And I was like, cool. I'll never develop a friend ever. I'll never have deep friendships ever again. Thank you. But yeah. Also, going back to the pet thing, I think having a pet does help in some retrospect because you're tasked to take care of somebody other than yourself.
Yeah, it's like it's like a very real thing that if you neglect them in any way, it's like catastrophic. Right?
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah. I don't want no pets right now. I want no responsibilities.
So you don't want Gabriel?
I want Gabriel.
You
so
were
bad.
literally like, I want this dog so badly. I don't want any pets right now.
I don't want any responsibility. but I want the dog.
This is just Frank's way of covering up his heartbreak that he
Oh,
will
there
never
we
get.
go.
I didn't want him anyway.
That's right.
I just want to be an uncle, you know, have no
I mean,
responsibility.
being an uncle is pretty
But-
sick. Like, you know, you're the cool one, right, by default, because you don't make any of the rules. You're just like, you just come over and like you just have fun with them,
I'm
right?
just here to
That's cool.
play, man. I'm just loose.
But yeah, like I mean, I think everyone to an extent would say, at the very least, like, you know, I hope that I'll be a good parent. But like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think are some of the qualities that make a good parent? I know it's like super subjective, and it like probably depends on how you were raised and everything. But like, what are some things that I'm curious?
High IQ, EQ, not IQ. ER,
Yo,
emotional
if you ain't
intelligence.
Albert Einstein,
EI.
fuck you.
No, high EI, so emotional intelligence. I think.
Emotional intelligence.
I
and
think,
then,
yeah.
And then what does that mean for you exactly? Like emotional, like.
For me, it's being able to not only control your emotions, but to like explain to your kid why you're feeling a certain way too. So communication is super key. Like if you're feeling a type of way, communicate that to your kiddo.
Right.
And then that is just, how can that not make sense? You know,
Yeah.
and if there's any confusion there, you can go deeper into the conversation. Because I think more times than not, people discredit kids, like, or don't give them the benefit of the doubt. They think that they're like, they don't know anything.
They think that they're just like dumb and just like give them orders and stuff, right?
Exactly. But in reality, kids are super intelligent, I think, and like are knowledge sponges. So like if you tell them something, they're going to absorb that. Whether they listen to you or not, that's like another concept, another side of the coin there. But they're gonna they're not, what am I trying to say here? They're gonna absorb it. They're little sponges, but also they're just like little listening machines. They're like little spies. You think you're keeping a secret from your kid. The reality is they know everything. I knew everything as a kid.
They can be very sneaky and very observant. So
Exactly.
It's like,
Exactly. So
Or they're not. I knew nothing as a kid.
I think
I
that's,
believed in Santa Claus until I was 12.
yeah. Okay. Well, I think that speaks more to who Frank is as a person.
I thought the tooth fairy was real, and I was like trying to punch my teeth out, trying to get money. Man, I mean, like, there's two sides of the coin.
but like,
Right.
But that's the thing. Like, if you like, do you think it's important to sort of, I guess for you, Frank, is it important to have them know the reality of things sooner, or do you think there's a benefit to them sort of having that, like, that fantastical sort of that imaginative whatever, like, even as late as at a certain age?
It would have benefited me more socially at school. I was definitely not in a good place as a child, as a preteen, still believing in Santa Claus. So that did me no favors
So it's
there.
sponsored by Santa Claus, bro.
But I mean, I also at the same time feel like it's important to still have some sort of that, like, magic when you're younger. Like, I know I'm not gonna be the kind of parent that's gonna be like, yeah, Santa Claus isn't real, you 4-year-old, grow up. It's time for you to get in the real world.
I don't know if that's interesting, because like I don't know if I ever actually believed in Santa Claus. Because like
Really?
I always knew that it was like, oh yeah, like concept in like Christmas stories and stuff like that. And my family does celebrate Christmas, and they have because I think it was more so I went into it with the context of like because I knew my parents even from a young age were not born here, right? They came from another place with a totally different culture. But then I went into things like Christmas with the concept of, oh, mom and dad are doing this because Americans do this, right? So I think it was like more of this weird area of like, okay, so there's a dude who climbs down, sneaks into your house, and he gives you all this stuff. Oh, but then like, this is just what I read in books with a bunch of pictures, right? So I don't know if I ever actually believed in it. I was just more so like, yeah, this is just like a guy in stories, right?
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like it's weird because like even from a young age, I was like, Santa Claus is a guy, but he's not actually a guy.
It's
Right.
Mom, Dad, it's physically impossible for this fat man to fly around the entire globe.
Yeah, me at 4 years old, and they're like, "Yeah, we know. This is just some shit that I don't know. We heard that white people do, so we do it."
We're just trying to fit in. I don't know what to tell you. Okay?
I feel like that's kind of similar to my story because I don't really know if I ever believed
Yeah.
either.
What the fuck? Am I just stupid? What the?
But
Why did I believe this for so long?
I'm also the older sibling because
So am I.
I'm telling you that's you're different, okay? You're built different. You're in a different category all your own.
Okay.
You're the only boy in your family.
Yeah.
So you were treasured and coddled, and that was very nice for you. Okay,
I was also the best. I mean,
Oh my god!
I
I didn't
give
have
my
that
parents-
luxury.
give my
Okay,
parents the least trouble. I was a good kid.
I feel like I was.
I believed in Santa Claus till I was almost 13.
oh my god!
I'm trying to think if there was anything like that I genuinely believed in. Maybe not actually, because like all that like Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny shit, I was like, there's no way, dog. Like,
Right.
I don't know, man. Like,
Wow, that's
it's like
man.
yeah, like my first assumption was like, yeah, like I don't think it was ever actually underneath, like with the Tooth. I'm talking about the Tooth Fairy. Like, they never did the shit where they put it underneath my pillow.
Really?
I just knew about the concept, but then I
They
would
just hand you like $5. Like,
no, yeah, I would
letter
like
in
I'd
the
be
mail.
super. Sometimes they wouldn't even hand me anything. I would just take out a tooth and I'd be like, "Hey, look," and she'd be like, "That's neat," and that's it. Like,
Interesting.
To be honest, I think I'd rather have that kind of mindset raising a child because a child is already they're gonna have their own creativity. Why implant some made up thing that like already doesn't
why
do
give them
thing?
additional joy? No, I'm just
I just like
welcome
I
to
don't
the
know.
Joyless Podcast.
I just don't want to lie to my kid. You know what I mean? Like
That's true. That's true.
because my parents lied to me all the time, for better or for worse, whatever. But I think most of the time I figured out the truth,
Yeah.
and it was not great for me because I was like, oh, okay, if they're gonna lie to me about this small stuff, I'll start lying. So I became a compulsive liar about everything.
Oh.
And I never told the truth until we're still figuring that out. No, I'm just kidding. JK. But it's like, it's a very hard habit to get out of, right?
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
think I started really understanding this like crazy impulsivity until like college, like
Yeah.
where I tried to unravel that.
Yeah. I feel like there are some parallels too with how my parents raised me, because like I would consider myself like it's sort of maybe a little bit embarrassing to say this, but like I would consider myself like coddled for like especially when I was younger. And like because my parents always like it's very, I'm very grateful and like very fortunate that we were in this position, but they basically took care of everything, right? And to a certain extent they still helped me out a lot with the main thing being like certain various like financial stuff, right? So I never really learned a lot about full like the full scope of what it means to be financially responsible. Like I don't think of course I wasn't like, it's not like I'm the kid of a millionaire with a credit card that I can just like buy anything, right? But I was certainly very frivolous when I was younger. I think food was the main thing, because like right now I'm trying to make more of an effort to like look at my budget and just eat at home as much as I can. But before, when I still had a credit card that still got billed to mom and dad, right? It was like, oh, it's just like $10 at Chipotle, right? It's like $20 at McDonald's. It's not that much. And then I looked at a bill recently from a while ago, and I was like, holy shit, like this is insane. Like, and now I'm trying to teach myself a lot of that stuff, and of course, like they had certain values, like they never really spent on a lot of bullshit, which and they were never irresponsible with their money, so that naturally gets passed down to your kids at a certain point. But they also were like, oh yeah, don't worry about it, like you can use like this credit card for this purchase, right? Which, like, yes, it's nice, but at the same time I'm like, I wish I would have learned this like maybe like what I'm learning now like 10 years ago.
For
right?
sure.
So I could better set myself up, because I feel like I'm behind in a lot of that, in a lot of like the financial literacy stuff. So like I'm trying like really, really hard to just like, and it's way harder like the older that you get to give yourself that discipline.
I feel like that too, because my parents would not, they wouldn't talk about financial stuff with me at all.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know how much my dad made until I was late high school.
Yeah.
Like 18 years old.
Yeah.
And I only found that out because I finally looked at like their bank accounts over like my mom's shoulder one day. And I was like, that's a lot of money. She's like,
this is why we didn't tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, there's 5 of you, 5 little ones.
4.
4 little ones, excuse me. I don't know where
The
that 5th
lost
one. No,
Angela
honey,
sister.
honey. Okay, dogs are expensive.
I guess.
Oh, that's actually, yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Honey's,
Yeah, what
honey's
the
more
heck?
expensive, yeah.
5 children, basically.
I'm an adult.
Shut up. Ew.
I've been an adult. Yeah, but they essentially like told me like, I was like, when do I get a credit card? And they're like, don't get a credit card. I was like, okay, when do I get a credit card? They're like, never. Don't ever get a credit card. You cannot use a credit card. And I was like, okay, all right. Well, I have a.
When do I get a credit? What is that? We don't know what that is. You're crazy. You're being crazy.
No, my parents were the exact same way, because I think I came from a really poor family, or like growing up, we didn't have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think a lot of people in my extended family got credit cards and they went into severe debt really fast.
Yeah.
And so I think there was a lot of scars, a lot of trauma because of this.
That's why a lot of people get like divorced and shit, right? Because it's like finances, and like people, especially in America, I'm not going to get on a soapbox, and I'm not a financial expert by any means. I'm not financial advice for anyone out there, but yeah, credit card debt is fucked up. Like, I don't think people really realize like just how bad it can get. But anyways, yeah, there's like, I think there's, I definitely think that I want to make more of an effort to instill that sort of discipline in, I think I would, yeah. Before I was more indifferent, as weird as it sounds, because I feel like having a kid is you need to be very concrete in your decision. But I was very indifferent to whether or not I had a kid. But I think now, I would want at least one. I don't know how many I would have. What about you guys? Like, any?
I would definitely have more than one, but no more than 2. So 2.
I think honestly, that might be, like 1 or 2. It's something like, I don't think more than 2 though. Yeah.
Wow, there's only one number that could be.
I'm being very real. Okay, like my parents did not make a lot of money, and 3 kids was a lot, and it was double income for them too, and in this economy it's not getting any cheaper. So I'm like, if we're having kids, more like 2, because
they're getting jobs.
Well, yes. But like 2, because I think raising an only child is like, I feel like that's kind of lonely, like,
no, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just need somebody to be around to like kind of kick you a little bit, bring you back down to reality a tiny bit. And then also to kind of team up against mom and dad. just to have somebody on your side.
Oh, I don't want that, but
Well,
I want them to be on my side against mom.
Well, no. But like, it's just somebody with a shared experience of both, like having both your parents, you know? Because I'm sure y'all have this experience too, but like you can talk about mom and dad as like they're like, oh, or all the way over there, and we're like the kids. So it's like
That's
kind of a
actually
fun little bonding thing.
That's actually a really good point because like oftentimes, you know, my siblings will be like, oh, mom and dad did this, or like, oh my god, like why are they, you know, whatever, or like why are they doing, we'll just like ask questions or just like discuss stuff about mom and dad. And I feel like, yeah, if you, I guess if you want, I heard that like only children end up being a lot more independent, which for what it's worth, like, yeah, you want someone to be that, but like, yeah, that's super, just like you have, of course you have your parents hopefully to talk to about stuff, but like, yeah, like what about talking about your parents, right?
Yeah, who do you have?
It would take a very, very secure and interesting family dynamic to be like, hey, mom and dad, I got this problem with you. Let's talk about it. Right?
Well, that's another thing. Like I would want my kid to come to me and do that too.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
maybe if they're not like there, they have somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what about you, Frank? How many kids?
I go back and forth like 14 or 13, honestly.
This man has a hard time supporting himself too. Can you believe it? This man thinks raising a child
I literally
is so
cannot picture you with 14 children. That is fucking insane. It's like I look at Cthulhu and like my eyes and brain just like explode.
We live on this farm, us 14.
Oh my god!
Have you even lived on a farm before?
No.
You sound like a crazy cult man. Do you understand what that is?
Yeah, no, I'd like 3. I think at the most.
I think 3 is, well, of course, you know, I'm biased as well because, you know, three children total in my family.
Yeah,
but I think that's a pretty good reasonable number.
I feel like that's a great number. My parents tried to do 3, end up with 4. Both of their families have 3.
Yeah,
they both have 2 siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean 3 in their families. I don't know. Yeah, it's a magic number, man.
I don't know if I've I know Frank probably knows. But
my brain is melting.
How between, you know, all my siblings, I want you to guess how many grandchildren my parents have been provided with in total. I mean, we already know I don't have any, but between my sister and my brother, how many grandchildren do you think?
Elaine and Harvard. I gotta count them again. Hold on.
Is 8 too high?
Is that your guess?
I think that's correct, actually.
I'm just gonna guess 8.
7 it's 7 or 8.
Really?
Yeah. You're correct. now I want you to guess I think you might know now.
Yeah.
But Francine, what do you think the distribution is?
Oh no.
Girls to boys.
Girls to boys.
And
sorry, just yeah.
That's actually a good one to tack on. Girls to boys, and also how many belong to either my sister or my brother.
Well, girls to boys is like 50-50. I feel like it's like 2 boys and like
2 boys, 6 girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
And who's got all these children?
I don't know. Well, I would like to say maybe the second, your second sibling, or the second oldest.
So my sister
Sure.
has most of the kids.
Yeah.
So it's actually the complete opposite on both fronts.
Reek!
It's 8 boys.
8 boys.
And 6 of them are my brothers.
Oh my gosh! So all boys? Oh
all boys.
No!
All boys.
Not a single goyle.
Yep.
That is insane.
And both of the youngest are actually right around 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're just like about a month apart, more or less. But my sister has set the limit on 2. She's done. I don't even know about my brother.
That is so crazy.
That's insane, right?
Harvard keeps having kids with like Greek names.
That's kind of cool, though. I like a theme.
They all have like, well, I don't know if they're all like Greek, but they all have kind of cool names. Honestly, like really long, like convoluted.
I'm not okay.
Names.
I won't say any of their actual names just for privacy, but I will say they were considering Athanasius as a name.
Ooh, that would have been a big oof. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Good old Athens.
Honestly, the name that they actually went with was not much, in my opinion.
Oh no! Well, it's just like, why Athanasius? Why not just Athens or something? I think that's a beautiful name.
Yeah, I think it's something with like religious figures or something like that. I don't know, but you know, they're kids, their choice. But yeah, I was like, damn, bro. Okay,
Well,
okay then.
I can relate to that because I was named after Saint Francis,
Oh yeah,
Catholic saints.
yeah.
Big ring,
But that's like a you know, person name though. That's like a normal person name.
I guess that's true. You're
That's
right.
like-
you're absolutely correct. My bad.
Athanasius sounds like a name of a city.
True.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a tangent there. But
wait. Did you say what you thought made a good parent? I don't think we heard from you about that.
oh yeah,
Oh, what makes a good parent? I don't know. Like it's a real mixed bag, honestly. Like it's super hard to kind of pinpoint what makes a good parent. I guess just having.
how many beatings per day do you know?
Gosh, I don't know. Like I feel like being able to have understanding. I guess like any relationship, right? You need communication. I feel like if there's a wall between you and your kid, no matter what, and that kid is gonna grow up with some sort of problem, like, you know, big or small.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's tough for me to really define it. Because I feel like I was pretty fortunate with my parents, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything went the way I would have wanted it, but you know, like, you don't really get to choose that. So, but for the most part, I can't really complain.
Could I open that bag of worms? What did you not like about that? What did you not like about your upbringing? And would you? And then you can translate that into like maybe not so good, maybe something to avoid with your kiddo.
Well, I'm not a fan of corporal punishment. I'll put that out there.
And what does that like include for you? What's like your definition of that?
Just hitting kids, really. Like just punishing through physical violence.
Absolutely.
I don't think it works. It didn't work for me. Did not work for me at all. I would just it's kind of funny because my dad, when he was growing up, he was kind of a not like bad kid, but he would mess with his siblings all the time. So he basically his dad would come home and his mom would be like, go hit him, he needs to be hit. So they'd spank him every single day when his dad came home. And that was not exactly what I went through, but it was like every other day if I was like being mischievous or whatever. So, and it just doesn't work. It didn't work with my dad. Didn't work with me. Just we kind of perpetuate in society.
Do you lump it in with like all one category? Like, do you guys lump all that in? Like, for example, I think when I was growing up, I got spanked, right?
Yeah.
Like a couple times. Do you differentiate that, or do you think it's like it all falls under the same thing? Like you're still like hitting your kid at the end of the day. Like it's not, you know, not cool.
I think it's all the same thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it at all. I think it goes back to the understanding thing, because if your child is doing something wrong, I don't want them to be scared of me.
Right,
I want them to explain themselves,
Yeah.
to be intelligent enough to tell me why they're doing it. And if they can't, then I'm gonna make sure they understand why it's wrong, and to make sure it doesn't happen again in that route.
Yeah, because I mean, I got hit with the hand, the wooden spoon, the
Yeah,
belt.
same.
I think when you bring like an object into it, that's when like it's.
Oh, that's when you draw a line.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm in the same boat. Like I think overall, it's not a very effective method. But ironically, for me, I think it. I don't know, because like I don't even know, because this was when I was like really really young, when I got spanked. So I don't even remember like what I did to merit that. But I think it did affect me to where like, like this is serious. Don't do this shit again, right? And it didn't necessarily make me like scared of my mom when she did do it, but it was more so just like, oh god, she's fucking pissed. Like, do not do this shit. Like,
Yeah.
this is yeah.
I'm in a bad situation.
You fucked up, man. Like, don't do this again, dog. Like,
Also, I think it helps a kiddo to understand why it's a bad thing, and
Yeah.
not just because, oh, my mom's upset, because
I think I think that's a good point too, because it was never, there could have been other factors like language barrier and stuff like that, but it was never about why. It's always about don't do this, right? That's bad because it's bad, right?
Oh, yeah.
So then I was always kind of like, okay, well, it was
guess.
always either like, yeah, like I guess, or just kind of like, fuck you, because like yeah,
Right.
and I think like that type of reaction, like if I at least had sort of some sort of explanation, then it could have been like, okay, well, yeah, I understand, right?
absolutely.
But yeah, I think like, yeah, I definitely am not like any sort of like object that you use that's like, no, that's like really fucked up. Like anything that leaves a mark, right? But I think it's one of those things where it has to be done in a way to where it's like they know the severity of the situation, but it's not enough to sort of affect them for life. Like I think the extent, the most that I would ever go is like a slap on the hand, right? It's like not like fucking One Punch Man. They're fucking like this shit. But like I think it's like it sort of instills enough, but it's not anything like you're taking a fucking wooden paddle and like bruising their hamstrings, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
some shit like that that leaves scars, but I think it's enough to be like, okay, yeah, no, this is fucked up enough to where dad was like, okay, he needs to like really get it into my head, but I think it's one of those things where like I would try my best to explain to, not just like and then just like go to your room.
Yeah. All right, we're done here. The transaction is complete.
Yeah, that's like the absolute like extent that I would go. I think even spanking to an extent, like I think too, because it didn't affect me because it was only ever done to my knowledge, right? It was only ever done like like I can probably recall like twice, and it was, I can look back and be like, okay, well I really really just like pissed him off, right? But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know if that would still be considered in the realm of like corporal punishment. But, I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's difficult. It's like some sort of balance, right? Because you want to get through your kids' heads, especially if they're stubborn, to like not do this stuff anymore. But I mean, I don't know. At least for me, like every time I got hit, at least when I was younger, and I'd get yelled at, get hit, I would just be afraid,
Yeah.
And then as the age old wise wisdom of Yoda says, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. So I mean, it just, as I got older, I just got angrier every time I got hit, and I would literally just act out after that. I'd be super smart aleck to my parents. If I got hit, I was like, well, I might as well just fucking.
I bet Santa Claus wouldn't treat me like this.
Wow.
Santa Claus would never.
Wow.
He would reward me for being good.
Yeah, but it was just then at some points I would just talk back while I'm getting hit, or just be like, that's it,
Oh,
that's
wow.
all you got, whatever, man.
Wow.
All right, just go to my room. You know, try and put on that facade. Because it just, I don't know what else to do, and I feel like that's, if you can't explain to if you have to hit your child to get across a point, I feel like you failed as a parent.
Yeah.
At least in that situation.
Doesn't show high emotional intelligence.
I think it's like if you resort to that as like a default, then it's like something's fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? I think there's a certain point where like if sometimes it just doesn't get through, right? No matter like how much you try to explain, it's like I think there's something, and of course going back to like the most severe that I would ever go to is just like a, you know, on the hand, like I need to get this through to you somehow, right? Is what I would think. Maybe I'll change as I get older, and maybe even that will be like too much for me. But yeah,
I think any or other action will do. You know, it's like if you're at a restaurant, your kid's acting out. We're going home. We're not eating. You're not getting like I'll heat you up something, but we're not having this cute dinner anymore.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, I guess like no more games. We're gonna turn off the internet and. It's great that mama is tech savvy so she can actually turn off the internet, and you can no longer, you're not smart enough to come into my room and like go underneath my bed and get the router and stuff and hook all that back up because it's not going to happen tonight. Yeah. So
it's a balance, you know. I think back like what if my parents had just like, you know, had a conversation the whole time, be like, this is why you can't do this is why we don't like it. And I don't know. Maybe if they started when I was super young, maybe I would have been like, oh yeah, that's a good way. I understand now. I won't do that anymore. Or maybe I just would have been like, yeah, whatever, fuck off. You guys aren't hurting me. I can do whatever I want.
Because that's definitely a possibility, right? That you could be like too lenient because like they know in a way that you ain't gonna do shit, right?
Exactly. You know? It's like I'm not gonna hit my kid, but I'm not gonna have a kid until I can figure out how to punish them accordingly without traumatizing them. You know, I just don't know. I don't know what the balance is gonna be yet, but it can't be hitting them. I know that for sure. At least in my opinion, at least.
Dude, watch you get so angry. And you like shove them on the ground. I can see it. And I'm for some reason I'm over at the Dilla household, and I'm like, oh,
right,
little Dilla Jimmy.
Right as you walk in the door, little Jimmy Dilla gets shoved, and then Frank's like, by the way, Santa Claus isn't real.
I know. I'm like, oh my. I don't know what to do. Frank.
And then you look over, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I look over to my little Jimmy, and I'm like, just slapped her hand.
Oh no!
And then you're like, little Francine Jr. We're not going to McDonald's, and we're turning the internet off.
We're going home. The internet's turned off.
I don't know what to do in this situation. I just.
Yes, inflicting trauma on 3 families. That's my goal.
That'd be crazy. It's like little Francine Jr. How dare you invite us over to the Della household? That was a disaster.
Like, Mom, but they're your friends. I don't know these people.
Yeah, that'd be messed up. No way I would do that.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a horrible place to end on, but that's the place we're going to end on anyways.
Remember, everybody. Kids sometimes.
No.
Turn off the internet and no more McDonald's. And Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy are all they're all real sometimes. Okay,
sometimes depending on the family and the place of origin of where you came from.
Exactly. This is all very Western culture.
All right, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
see you next time.
Yeah, see you guys next time. That was a very, very tumultuous but very fun episode there.
Indeed. Bye-bye.
Yeah. See you, everybody.